Hello, folks. Before you blame on on the other folks, I'm talking about Japanese people that used enslaved Chinese women and Korean women. This is one of the first sexual slaves during World War II. Before you put the blame game on Toyota's non-stopping cars, well, let's talk about two people. Yeah, two men, two creators. This is a Ford logo, and we're talking about the creator of the early Ford Explorer. Before I talk about the early Ford Explorer, we're talking about another guy that is from the same country where the guy created the traction system of the early Ford Explorers. His name is Psy. Psy has put more people boogie down on the dance floor with his dance known as the Gangnam Style. So Psy has put more people on parties. Well, now this guy John Lee has put more people on graveyards. Now we're talking about the Lee traction, and this is a big failure for the early explorers from the early 90s. Back then, and we're talking about this company. In 1903, Henry Ford has created the first car. Mass production car known as the Model T. Yes. First car for the public. Then, years later, then the coolest car ever came out. The coolest sports car, muscle car, the best muscle car of all time, the Ford Mustang. Can't beat that. So, now we're talking about the early explorers. As you might know about Ford SUVs, they had the Bronco. Well, O.J. Simpson has escaped with the same car of the same company. This is the logo of his car when he killed Nicole Brown Simpson. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. Well, it's like kind of dilemma, all right? Don't put O.J. Simpson like he was Japan, or Nicole Brown or the Browns like they were like China and Korea. No. Of course, if you say it that way, then I'll say O.J. Simpson never hurt a fly. Well, going there, and you're talking about your folks, talking about K-Partners. Let's talk about the Lee traction system, and John Lee. Well, this is like, and then before I talk about John Lee, Ford and Firestone were stick together like peas and carrots before John Lee stepped in. John Lee was born in South Korea. He worked for the Ford Motor Company, and he has this traction system. The Lee traction system was put in the early Ford Explorers. The Lee traction system is for like better traction of his car, and with heat up with gas, and just for the heat in the axle has give up more like better traction in the tires and all that stuff. What the Lee system have done, instead of doing that, it has killed more people than anything else. Well, why blame it on the Lee system? Why blame it on the Lee traction system? Well, the early explorers, when Ford used to be equipped with wilderness tires, yes. Firestone Wilderness AT, do you remember that? Well, it was the Lee system. Blame it on the Lee system. Well, Firestone, in the other hand, a Japanese company known as Bridgestone has bought Firestone. Well, Japanese are like more loyal and they know what to do their things. And if it wasn't John Lee, if it was a Japanese guy that created his own traction system, then we'll be better off alive today with the early Ford Explorers than what it is right now. If it wasn't for the lease system. The lease system has killed more people. John Lee, in one hand, says, well, there's Firestone. Firestone and Ford have never had, like, there's something like a sour relationship, and they broke up. Yeah, they broke up. It was John Lee's fault. John Lee and the Lee traction has messed up this relationship between Firestone and Ford. Now Ford Explorers, the new ones, are now equipped with Goodyear tires and other name brand tires Goodyear has offered to everybody. But since then, as what it is, since John Lee has been fired, the Lee traction system was a big failure from the Ford Motor Company. Well, then Lee got fired. After Firestone has broke the deals with Ford, John Lee has been fired. And then there were other companies, even Japanese companies, never offer him because of Ford's problem with the early Explorers. So they never won them. So they better yet no. These companies say, hey, Japanese, we're not gonna accept them. They accept them because of John Lee. They never hire a Korean engineer. So that's why John Lee's fault has killed more people with the Lee system, with the Lee traction system. So now Lee is hired by Hyundai, and then the Lee traction system will be set on Hyundai and Kia cars. So if the John Lee traction system is set up to these, then Hyundai and Kia never give a crap, because John Lee and Kia and Hyundai are from Korea, so they don't give a crap. So let their own people work together, and they'll say let their own people fix it. So John Lee will never get fired. He has a job for life with his Lee system. While in Ford, the Lee system never had worked. So that's why he got fired. So, and this for Firestone, if you're watching this, Lee has made it lots of trouble. He has killed lots of people, and then that's why the early Explorers have rolled over. The traction and the wheelbase, the heat insists through the axles and to the rims and all that. It messed up the tire and burned. Now that Lee is out, so to have Erika Tsubaki, that's a designer. She's Japanese. I think if she has done a better job than John Lee. John Lee might be his system. The Lee traction system has killed more people with the early Explorers. Was in the early Mercuries, and then Mazda Navajo never accepted the Lee traction system. The Lee traction system is suck. The Lee traction system have failed, and it will fail when he works with his own people. But guess what? They'll keep the other guys send 10-year warranty. They keep on killing until your family member or your own friend driving in whatever Hyundai might come out in his grave. So this is what the John Lee system does. If it's with his own folks, they don't give a shit. If it's with others, well, he'll always get canned. He'll always get the boot. He'll always get fired. So That's why. Psy, on the other hand, will have record deals. Well, Psy and John Lee are born in the same country. John Lee, in the other hand, worked for the Ford Motor Company. The Lee traction system have failed. Firestone has cut the deal, blame it on John Lee, and guess what? And Ford has fired John Lee. So thank you very much for watching this video. Bye.